Hello, everybody. Welcome to the video. Welcome to this episode of Thomas Talks. I've clearly come up with a title that I'm going to be calling this. Oh, you're a bit far away. You're right over there. You're just at the table. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about why I build software over buying it. What do I mean by that? So in a recent video, I'm not sure if you saw it, that where I built the subscriber widget. I could have just bought an app. There's an app on the App Store. There's a few apps on the App Store that just do that. They do it for everybody. You can just buy it, use it, whatever. Why did I build that? I think I can kind of put it down to at least two or three things. One, it's not quite as straightforward. Like, yeah, I can buy their software, but their software is their software. I don't know when their software is going to stop working. I want to know when it's going to stop working myself. That's kind of one of the things. I wouldn't necessarily say that was high on my list of problems. But my main one is I want to know how to do it. If I buy their product, I don't know. I don't learn anything from that. I might as well do it using what I know and build it myself. Like for that one example, I also use software. So like on my lighting console, I've got some ArtNet to HTTP adapting sort of software and timecoding software that I've written, and there's loads of stuff on my GitHub that I write. I just make loads of software. But I do that because I'm not necessarily interested in the product. I always think that my product, unless I spend ages on it, unless I spend like, I don't know, 100 hours on it or something, it's always going to look worse than their product because they've probably spent 100 hours on it because they're trying to sell it as a product that's been out a while. Or it's going to function slightly less. It's going to have bugs and stuff. But I think it's not just about the destination. It's not just about the end product. It's about the whole process. I learn how to build the software, how to debug the software, how to do this and that, and how to do these things. And the good thing is I can also adapt it to what I want it to do in the future. So if my view or goal changes, so right now it's just telling me subscribers, but I'm kind of thinking I might add watch hours, maybe watch views, all that sort of stuff to the account because that's what I feel like it needs. So that's kind of my main one. That's why I do that. There is a bit of a privacy concern in there, like some of the sort of applications they've got all these analytics and stuff. They're leaking it. So I recently built an iOS app. I did make a video about it, but I've hidden it. I don't. About I don't know if you've heard of Theo and his T3 chat. I made an iOS app. He hadn't got one. I wanted to try it. And that was more of a learning curve sort of stuff. Not necessarily a privacy focused one, but it was a learning curve to understand how to implement stuff like convex and stuff in Swift. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other things of why I do it. Other ones, but not necessarily. Stuff like subscription costs and stuff like that. Because some of these apps, so something that I do use, like I do probably build my own, but I use Proxyman as a proxying software. I pay like $3 a month for that. I would weighing up whether I get $3 of value out of it or not. I don't know. But what I do know is I could probably build something that would be about on par with the feature. I don't use all their feature set. Be about on par with what I use in their feature set. And it'd probably take me like a day, maybe two, and it'd work. So I should probably do that. I need to weigh up whether I think the cost is worth it. This is something that I've thought about is speed and efficiency. Like, essentially with Proxyman, there's all these features and all these things that maybe I don't use, but they slow it down. But maybe if I wanted to make it faster, I would not implement those features and just implement what I want, have a fast pipeline. It's better integrated with what I'm doing. I can make it do what I want to do. I don't know. I'm just sort of waffling at this point, realistically, aren't I? And you can agree. But I do think for you as a person watching this video, there is an element of you should build that product. I don't know. Take something that you're using and build it. I'm not necessarily saying you want to deploy it and use it in production. Like, I don't. That's a lie. I do use a lot of what I'm building in production, but only once I'm confident it can get there. I bug test and add tests and stuff like that. I'm not necessarily saying you should deploy your stuff in production, but even if you've built it as a product that you at least understand and it kind of works how theirs works or does whatever you want it to do, you have a greater understanding of the product and the outcome. So, like, if there were problems with the product you bought, you can better understand where they're coming from, some of the technical problems, all that sort of stuff. I just think it's a bit of an interesting insight into software. Like, they are really these black boxes of code that nobody can look in, especially with applications on iOS and macOS, which is where most of my ecosystem lies. They're these black boxes, and you can't edit them, or you can't tweak them, other than what they allow you to do, and that's very granular in some cases. But if you're building it and running it yourself, you can add in what you want and do what you like. Like, a lot of the time, I don't implement customization features. So in my SkyQ application, for instance, that I have to control SkyQ, we have no adjustment of the screen or any of that sort of stuff as a feature in the UI, but it is featured in the code because we've designed something that works for us as a household and anybody else that we allow using it. But we don't have any customization because we don't need to, because it's happy. We're happy with it, which reduces overhead in terms of code and thinking about it. So it fires up like that, and it works like that, and it sends command, and like it does it all locally on the network, stuff like that. You can do those little tweaks that you can't necessarily do with something off the shelf. I don't know what else to say. I hope this has been a bit of a waffle. Yeah. See you in the next one. If you've enjoyed this little waffle, I'll be doing some more, hopefully. But get subscribed. What's coming up? I don't know when it's coming up, but I bought a Raspberry Pi. I got a Raspberry Pi 5. I've got to do all this web stuff. I do a lot of gov hosting, .gov domains. Got all of that. I might do some better lighting. There's a light up here, and it seems to be giving quite a down shadow. I might do some front light. Seems as though my career is in lighting. It would probably make sense, wouldn't it? But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.